Hello, Internet. This is Chase Wassenaar, and welcome to a special episode of the Rough Drafts Competes Journey of Wrestling League. We said at the end of the last episode, when we finished our weeklies, that we may have a tournament in store for you all, and oh boy, do we have a fun one on hand. I am joined by the lovely Eduardo, manager of the Campeonato de Luchasaur. And how are you doing today, buddy?
I'm doing all right. I'm doing all right. Very hyped for what could be like the final tournament of the year. So it's gonna go out with a blast.
Oh, I can assure you it is the final tournament of the year. None of your other competitors have tournament aspirations in mind. But can you
No,
tell
because they're
people?
cowards.
Well, for me, it's because I just did one last month, but I appreciate the
No,
energy.
but you can do whatever, and it's not exclusive.
I suppose that's fair. Well, here, why don't you tell the folks at home before we jump in here? What is today's tournament about? What are these competitors fighting for tonight?
As people may or may not remember, the greatest tournament has been recently vacated, so this is the opportunity to bring it back. And gonna have a lot of fire matches. Basically, everyone's aiming for this tournament, including some current title holders. I will not go into specifics to not spoil the whole thing, but it's going to be a blast. It's going to be full on entertaining, and it has a very special gimmick tonight in that every match is going to be a street fight.
Yes, this is a
Oops, all street fight.
Oops, all street fights indeed. I love the way your street fights have played out, and I do like adding gimmicks to tournaments. It obviously makes them a little bit more expensive, but if you're an entertainment company like ours, it is the only way to have a holy shit moment opportunity. And we will see what you are able to build tonight. Are you ready to jump on in?
Yeah, actually, I am. Let's go.
Fantastic. Well, we start with CC Cruz versus Gina Akatani. We should point out all of these matches were randomized. So, who is facing whom and where they were in the bracket, all up to lovely RNG. Can you tell me what fans should be looking out for in this match between CC Cruz and Gina Akatani?
These are two generally mid cards that have like struggled a bit to make a name for themselves, at least as solo individuals. So they're gonna be looking at this opportunity to take a W finally and show what they can do. Especially since this is like a different environment from what they're used to. They
Mm-hmm.
can maybe take some more wins for them.
Yeah, I mean, you'd certainly hope so, given that, this is really a condensed look at a feud that's been going on for a while between Lethal Tempo and Dominion.
Mhm.
So, does Gina Akatani get the upper hand, or does CC Cruz pull off an upset in round one?
I think, unfortunately for Sisi Cruz, Gina Gatan is going to be a bit too much to handle. She still got it, and she's coming into this with a better shape, you know.
I mean, that
And we got
is
our very first holy shit moment.
absolutely. Look, the stars don't really matter in these tournaments outside of making you feel better and having, I guess, a higher rating at the end of the card. So we'll keep track of that a little bit. But these holy shit moments are what we're watching for, folks at home, because that's going to determine how many creativity points Eduardo has left for his gold pay per view card. And Gina Akatani hitting CC Cruz with 3 consecutive finishers is one heck of a way to start. Congrats to Gina. Better luck next time, CC. We move on. Skull Dredson versus La Fantasma. This is a blow off, I believe, because Lethal Tempo and Phantom Troop have been fighting back and forth for a while now. What should fans be looking for between these two titans of the tag division?
This will be like one match for the ages, even though both of them are more like renowned for their doubles apparitions. They're also very talented individuals on their own, and we're gonna see who can like take the W tonight.
Absolutely. Well, which button am I clicking on, my friend?
I think we're gonna click Text Code Dredson. She's just coming into this with a bit more hype into this, and she has that killer instinct that's going to unlock.
She sure does. It's a big boost for her. A little bit of a overness hit for La Fantasma, but nothing she can't handle. Most importantly, it is a second holy shit moment in 2 matches as Skull Dredson puts La Fantasma through the announce table with an elbow drop off the top rope. You'll love to see that. And Skull Dredson will advance to face Gina Akatani in the next round. But we move on now to Pink Arrow versus Amber Manning. And Eduardo, you chose to have women's champions in this tournament. If Amber wins, is this going to be a merging of the belts? Would she become your first dual belt holder? What's on the line for her in this event?
I mean, sure, like no one in the Campeonato has held two titles at the same time, so all of the women wrestlers are going to be looking to do exactly that. And maybe he will, maybe he won't. Only time will tell. But both of these wrestlers are very experienced, and they're drooling over the opportunity to convert this into that. Or especially for those that don't have a title, they're like even more anxious to get one. You know.
Yeah, I mean, Pink Arrow certainly after the big win on your last weekly, a huge step forward from her popularity wise. Does she have what it takes to beat Amber Manning in this match?
Honestly, this is a bit of hard call. I think we're gonna simulate it. We're gonna toss up to rank. Let's see
Okay.
if Amber Manning goes for the second title or if Picaro is too much to handle.
RNG has decided that Amber Manning moves on. You got a lack of psychology nerf, which is unfortunate, and a negative roll on
Oh,
Street Fight. But who cares? Amber Manning hits Pink Arrow with her finisher off the top rope. Another 30 creativity points.
yeah. I mean, I'm happy about the extra dirty creativity weapons. I will take that, even though it was a bit unfortunate. I think it's going to be the right. We're here for the whole moments more than the
Yes. I do
the
think
match
so.
score. The match score does not care that much for this
Yeah.
one.
Well, you made a choice, right? You didn't make feuds for all of the different individual matches in this tournament, which I think is a right call. I honestly spent too many points making sure there were feuds for everything. And you've got plenty of feuds that are already paying off in big ways heading into the pay per view. So it's just one of those, whether that's because there's no feud here or just two faces facing off. It's kind of hard to tell, but it's the nature of the beast. Holy shit moment says you're doing something right. But we have two competitors who are trying to make their own mark here. Ivy Chavez, Mrs. America, versus Juno Ripshaw. Both of them, very much 25-year-old competitors with high work rates. What should fans be looking out for as the two of them go head to head?
Um, I think people are looking forward for this bluff between these two talented wrestlers. This is one of the ones that people will definitely not want to miss. Ivy Chavez and Bruno Diptro are both coming off very strong campaigns over this year, even though they have lost a bit too much lately. But they're here to show that they
You cut out a little bit for me there, Eduardo. They are here to show, I imagine, their incredible talents and what they're capable of tonight. Who is getting the win?
I think Juno Ripch is going to take the win, and she's going to take this field home.
There it is. It's a 5.25 star match. It does indeed end that feud, and it's your fourth holy shit moment in 4 matches, which you love to see. Juno Ripshaw hitting Ivy Chavez with 3 consecutive finishers, another 30 creativity points, and a nice overness boost for Mrs. XPW. She'll be going up against Amber Manning next round, but we have a
Oh, that's
banger
going to
of
be
a
a hype one.
match. I mean, there's a hype match right in front of us. Layla Abelos, too pretty to lose, versus Alyssa Rose, the Rose herself. I mean, what is it going to take for one of these competitors to come out on top against the other?
I think we're looking at potentially the final in advance, with this match.
Mm-hmm.
These are two so talented wrestlers that both have made serious opportunities to grab the greatest tournament in the past, the belt. So we're gonna see who of them can claim victory tonight. Honestly, I feel tempted to just simulate this one. Let it go to luck.
Yeah, look, both these women, plenty of skill in their own right. It is Alyssa who manages to emerge victorious. It's a hot match and a fifth holy shit moment, Eduardo.
Nice.
Everything coming up big for you in terms of getting those resources you need for the tournament. Alyssa Rose about to hit Layla Abelos with her finisher before they both collapsed from exhaustion. You love to see it. And Alyssa Rose, she is the highest ranked female wrestler to not have a belt at the moment. This would mean the world to her if she could win this title. But we move on. Allison Cruzan from the Wasteland, one half of Bittersweet, going up against Haley the Lunatic, the former champion in her own right, the woman that this belt was originally made for. I mean, for Haley, everything is on the line here, right? Is that a fair assessment?
Yeah, pretty much.
But
Even though she has demonstrated time and time again in the past, like how well she can do, the belt escaped her hands in the last defense in Jubileta, who unfortunately got injured, and now she's going to look it back to reclaim it right before the year ends.
yes, Violetta's injury has given Haley an opportunity. Of course, Allison Cruzan would love to play spoiler. I don't mean to take away from a 28-year-old four-star worker here, but I mean, who are you giving the win to?
I think unfortunately for Alex Cruzan, Haley is going to be too much to handle at this point in time.
Yeah, that feels correct. I mean, look, it's one of these hot matches, gets both wrestlers in a better spot as a result. It's a 4.5 star match, and oh, look at that, a sixth holy shit moment in 6 matches. Haley hitting Allison Cruzan with a hard headbutt that almost knocked them both out. You know, I'm starting to believe this is just what happens when Xander's not here to poison the water supply, so to speak, right? Like without
Yeah,
without him shitting on your best wrestlers, it seems to be going very well for you. Who would have thunk it?
yeah, I'm very happy about how this has gone too far. That being said, we still have not recuperated the cost, so let's go for more holy shit moments.
Well, I will say the tournament cost 150, right? You then paid another 10
Yeah,
for 12 matches. So 270 is the total you're looking for. You're
yep.
already at 180, which is incredible. But we will see if you can keep this streak up. Keegan Cohen versus Suki Akiyama. I mean, Suki, obviously, you have said on the record you are a Suki Akiyama fan. I imagine that's bad news for Keegan Cohen, but she is a member of Phantom Troop, the current title holders for the Guardianes del Pucara Femenino belt. What does Keegan have to do to take down Suki tonight?
I'm gonna have to do her best tonight because like against Suki Akiyama, few have claimed victory, and she's going to try to demonstrate that her daredevil skills are not just for doubles. Suki Akiyama on the other side is going to look at this route of talented wrestlers that almost face off the companies, all of them that have successfully claimed victory in the first round. So
Mhm.
it's going to be a lot of pressure on both competitors, but I think Suki Akiyama is the favored one to win tonight.
I mean, she has to be. She is the one in her own right, the big match specialist. She always steps up when it matters most. Is she winning this match, or does Keegan pull off an upset?
I think Suki Akiyama is going to take the W.
That is a W for Suki. It's a 5 star match, which you love to see. No holy shit moment here. The streak of nonstop holy shit moments does come to a close. But that 5 star match is going to be great towards getting the creativity points from the card itself, which we have to keep in mind. It will not take very many holy shit moments from here for you to turn a profit when you include that little bonus at the end here. But this does mean something to watch out for. Both members of Dominion have fallen. Both members of Phantom Troop have fallen. We have seen one member of Bittersweet go down already, and Lulu Cherry has a tall task in front of her against Kelly Torres. I have to ask, what would it take for Lulu Cherry, the 24-year-old wrestler who is kind of one of the last remnants of this tag division outside of Lethal Tempo, I suppose. Juno Ripshaw, Skull Dredson, both looking strong so far. What does Lulu Cherry have to do to avoid an early exit against a tower like Kelly Torres?
I think it's going to take a lot, honestly. I mean, like, not to put shame on Blue Cherry. She's a great competitor, especially in doubles. But Kelly Torres is more used to singles match. She's also been more dominant on her title rounds, and she's here to demonstrate that she can take this greatest tournament.
Okay. That is certainly going to be Kelly's goal. Does she win this match?
Yeah, she does.
Fantastic. That's a 5 star win right there. No holy shit moment, but another very nice score.
I think we just the holy shit moments, but they'll come back, I'm sure.
Yeah, I mean, look, it certainly was a great string. You have 4 matches left to go. I think you only need a holy shit moment in one of them for your card to be guaranteed to turn a profit on this one when you include the overall score here. But we move on to the quarterfinals. And this has got to hurt. This is Gina Akatani versus Skull Dredson. These are tag partners in Lethal Tempo. These two obviously don't want to wear each other down too much. They have a huge match coming their way as Lethal Tempo tries to retake the Guardianes do Pucara Femenino belt from uh, Phantom Troop at the next pay per view. How would you play this, right? These two tag partners obviously both want the title. What do you expect to see in this match?
And they're in this unique position that they know each other to the perfection. They know their moves, they know their strategies, they know what the other is thinking. That has allowed them to go to every tag team together, fighting alongside each other. But this time they're against each other, so it's gonna be very interesting to see how this will play out.
It will be interesting indeed. Do you have a button that I am hitting here? Or are we leaving
Skull
something on the
Dredson's gonna take the W tonight. I think her current shape is just a bit better, and look at that.
Yeah, that's going to get her over the face of the company barrier. Obviously, the journey does not begin until the end of a pay per view. But oh boy, are you putting her in a great position to start it. And hey, I love, from a narrative perspective, it is great that these two tag partners lifted each other up with a hot match. That just makes sense to me. No holy shit moment, but an incredibly strong performance all the same. We move on to our second quarterfinals match. Now, fans should know at home that the semifinals and finals of the greatest tournament for the greatest championship will be held at is it Last Breath? Is that the correct name?
Yes.
Yes. So, Skull Dredson locked in that tournament spot. Who will join her? Is it Amber Manning, the current Campeonato Cuyan champion, who would love to be the first dual belt holder in this company with Tigre de Neon in her corner? Or will it be Juno Ripshaw? What should fans be looking for in this match?
Honestly, I think this match will have to be a lot, but for both competitors. After like going through the first round, none of them like want to go home. They're like so close to the title belt,
Mm-hmm.
and I think even though Mr. Juno Ripcho is very talented, I think Manning is going to come into this with a bit better shape,
Mm-hmm.
not as exhausted as Juno Ripcho, and that's gonna convert into W.
Yeah, Juno Ripshaw, you can see the fatigue creeping up here. I think it's very smart to not have her go too much farther on here, given that, of course, she's going to play a pivotal role in Last Breath. It's a 4.25 star match, but it is the holy shit moment you've been looking for. Amber Manning
Yes.
refusing to give up as she crawled around for 2 minutes in Juno Ripshaw's submission. That's another 30 creativity points. That's another, not that you need overness for Amber Manning, but that does ensure it will be Amber Manning versus Skull Dredson. And Amber in a very interesting position. She will need to defend her own belt while trying to seize another. Will be fascinating to see how she manages that at the pay per view. But we move on for now. And I mean, this is a match for the ages, right? This feud blew off very recently. I don't believe in a tournament there is any negative effect to fans seeing these two in the ring once again, but it is a tale as old as time between these two. Given how well they know each other, Eduardo, what can fans expect in this titanic match between Alyssa Rose and Haley?
Honestly, like this bracket's like so golden, and like every match feels like a final on its own. And Alisa Rose versus Haley is just what the fans came here to see. Like, will Alisa Rose, like the first champion, one of the first champions we had in our promotion, rise to the title, or will Haley, the original title holder of the greatest championship,
Mm-hmm.
claim it back?
That is the question, and I leave that to you. Is this the lunatic getting moving forward in her attempt to reclaim this belt, or is Alyssa Rose getting the nod?
I think at the end of the day, Alisa Rose gonna just take the nod. She's gonna make it so fans know that she's also as capable. If not,
I mean, that is a heartbreaking loss for Haley, who obviously wanted desperately to get her greatest championship back. You know, she had been fighting against Violetta a couple times, could not win it against Violetta. So perhaps it is fitting that if she wants the title back, she is going to have to beat the title holder for it. It will not be through this tournament that she reclaims what she believes to be hers. It is a 5 1/4 star match. These two obviously know each other very well. No holy shit moment, but still an incredible match, and that's going to lift up the score of this weekly quite a bit. But we move on now to our last match of the tournament, Suki Akiyama versus Kelly Torres. Suki and Kelly, two incredible wrestlers in their own right. We have seen this entire time how loaded this bottom half of the bracket has been. Suki and Kelly have fought before, have some history here. What can fans expect from this match?
I think that they can expect just one of the best matches this competition will have. I mean, like, I don't want to like underplay any of them, but man, if there's like one match you can't miss, it's going to be like this one.
Mm.
Kelly Torres is the actual original title holder of this company. I misspoke earlier. And Suki Akiyama has climbed from what seemed to be like the lower pits of what you will call lower mid carder on up to face of the company status. So I think for both of them, this will be a great match to be seen.
Yeah, I mean, look, both of them have held belts in the past. Both of them would desperately like to get back to that peak that they once hit. Who is the one getting the victory tonight who will meet Alyssa Rose
Uh,
in the semifinals?
I think we're gonna simulate this one. I think it's one that I can't even decide who I want to win.
It is Suki Akiyama. It looks like the game is as much a fan of Suki as you are, and it's a well-deserved 4 3/4 star victory. It is a holy shit moment as Suki Akiyama hits Kelly Torres with 3 consecutive finishers. I mean, that is a great way to end this. That does mean for the semifinals, we are going to have Amber Manning versus Skull Dredson and Alyssa Rose versus Suki Akiyama. The goal makes for some very interesting matches, and I'll be curious to see if there are any adjustments to the pay per view to account for some of these things. But for now, that's going to be a 4 3/4 star card, which means you get 80 creativity points and you are officially better off than when you started, even taking into account some of the matches that we've put together, like the Nova Championship, having paid for the pole match already. So, given that, how are you feeling about how this tournament's come together?
I'm feeling very well. I think tournaments can be very, very productive and most importantly, a lot of fun.
Yes, this was indeed a lot of fun. I appreciate you coming together for this. I appreciate you, lovely folks at home who watched it and hopefully had as much fun with it as we did. I know there's been some staticky voice quality with some of the calls that have been coming through recently. I had some computer stuff that I am still working on fixing. I hope that the quality will be there for the pay per view stream on Thursday, May 2nd at 5 p.m. Pacific time. That is Thursday, May 2nd, 5 p.m., an hour earlier than we usually do these streams because it is going to be a massive block of matches. It's the most matches we've ever seen on a single stream. It will be incredibly exciting as Eduardo, you attempt to play spoiler, take me out, and become the clear winner of the second half of the season, even if it was a little bit too late to take Xander down. Of course, I'm trying to tie with Xander, which by the rules of our tiebreaker would allow the narrative champion, Walter, to become the winner of this competition. And Xander, of course, would just like to win it outright. So, do you want to give any sneak preview, perhaps, of what fans can expect at Last Breath beyond what is these semifinals and finals for this particular belt?
I will not dare spoil a thing in the world.
You will not spoil a thing. You heard it, folks. The matches are going to come out sooner rather than later, but he is keeping it close to the chest for now. Thank you all so much for watching. Eduardo, if the folks at home want to follow you anywhere, tell you how much fun this tournament was, where can the good people at home find you?
Potentially Discord. I don't know. Or really, Instagram will be the most likely place to follow me. Uh, be though there's it's kind of spicy place. Some fun takes here, just as we had with this tournament.
Fantastic. Well, you can find me at Chase Wassenaar on bsky.social. You can find me there on Twitter as well. Of course, you can also find the podcast that this is all technically part of the Rough Drafts network of content that Walter and I have been doing for a while now at Rough Drafts
Yes, the rough
Pod.
verse.
Yes, the Rough Draftiverse for sure. Rough Drafts Pod on Twitter, Rough Drafts Podcast on bsky.social. We just did an incredible four-parter on Godzilla versus Kong, The New Empire, with friends of the pod Sky and Justin. So you won't want to miss that episode. It was a hell of a fun time for a very silly film. But until next time, until the stream that will end this competition, at least for season one. Goodbye, Internet.